I'm Sid, and these are my best friends. My mom, Kim, my dad, Ty, and my sister, Maddie, who before starting her own adventure, joined us in rocking out a state-of-the-art refit on our floating home. Now, we're ready to set sail to die with memories, not dreams, and live dauntless.
Why are we getting evicted? Well, we planned on needing about 8 weeks in the shed to get her watertight. What we didn't plan on were several things. For example, supply chain and shipping issues. The foam alone took an extra 7 weeks to arrive. Then there's the extra 2-week delay from the supplier of the vacuum bagging materials because the first order was lost by UPS and the second was misshipped to our billing address in Florida instead of the shipping address here in Georgia. But most importantly, the largest supplier here in the area for epoxy and hardener has run completely out. We bought all the slow that they had and then went to medium and even took all the fast that they had. And still, as of this video, they're completely out, and not just for us, for everyone. Now we're past our projected 8 weeks, and although the yard told us due to scheduling changes from the delays on other vessels they were working on, there was no problem with us staying as long as we needed to right where we were to finish the job. But now there's a bigger boat that got done early and wants our spot. So we did what we always do. Said okay, buckle down, and we do our best. Hey there, so we are here on Saturday, October 16th.
Yep.
And the yard last week threw us another curveball. So we had the rate increase in September, fine, whatever. You can stay as long as you need to make it all happen. Great, perfect. Well, that's no longer the case. Lies. So now we've been told that we have to have this boat ready to move and be put back on the rail car system so that it can be moved at their discretion in and out of wherever.
And we lose our spot here.
And we lose our spot in the shed where we're at by the 25th of October, which gives us, 8 days?
9 days.
I'm so tired, I don't even know.
It's ridiculous. So yes, can we do it? Yes. And it will be nice to be on the rails at some point because, well, we'll be able to get to the free hanging keels and do everything else.
Right.
Just getting the keel steps made, which we haven't done yet, get the hull shaped, which we're in the process of doing, get the rest of the interior tabbing and bulkheads and everything sanded and ready.
And prepped and ready,
and taper all the outside edging for the scarfing and prep the parts to be able to go in. All of that so that it can actually sit on the bulkhead in 8 days, 9 days. So
it's fine.
It's fine. It's chill. It's whatever. But that's what we're doing. And it just seems to be, it's frustrating. And I'm going to say this one thing and I'm going to be done. You knew all this shit was coming down. If you're that disorganized and you have that in a lack of ability to actually coordinate your yard and know what space is available, who needs to be where, I just don't understand how you can be so friggin' disorganized and yet so, I don't know. I'm frustrated. Just tell me all this in April. And then we're done, right? Instead of every 3 or 4 weeks we get a rate increase or we get a location change or what have you. I'm done. Rant over.
So here we go. Moving on. Now it's a bust out every day of the week.
Till we're done.
Like it hasn't been already, but it's fine. Here we go.
Good. Very good.
We busted out the big sander. So you might be asking why we wouldn't just say, no, you can't move us, we're not ready. Well, the yard basically said that if we're not ready and we don't have the bottoms back on the boat the way they need to be to safely move her, they will engineer and design a plan in order to move us, and at our expense, whatever that may be, they will move us. So you can see why we're very anxious and really determined to get the bottoms on the boat in a timely fashion and make this happen so that she can safely be moved on our terms more so than on theirs. So that's what we're doing. Now that we have both parts made, we have to get them flipped and prepped. We start by rolling them outside to wash the PVA off.
Oh, crash!
Oopsie! Here, lift it. Higher, man!
Hold on, her toes are still in there.
Not for long. Straight up.
Slow down. Is that cart there or no?
You're not quite to the edge yet. And there's the edge. And just like that, all the PVA is washed off. Well, most of it that we can get off. All right. Beautiful.
Then Sid sounded the outside for any potential dry layups. She used the cordless die grinder to get them ready for repair, while Ty works on applying thickened gel coat as filler to even out any undulations. And Maddie is our ace, climbing into every small space and nook and cranny, prepping the mating surfaces.
All right.
So we have a little bit of a delayed start this morning. Tell us why.
Because I talked to our rep over at the factory about how we're going to lay this keel up into the hulls. To give you a little bit of background, the Leopard actually makes the bottom of the boat in 3 pieces. They make the outside of each piece, or of each hull, then they make the inside of the hull and the bridge deck. And they make those all in mold, and then they actually put everything together, and then they seam it on the inside with a whole bunch of glass, 10 layers of really, really thick glass. So, because our hull replacement pieces are in one solid piece, they're not seamed down the middle, and we could make the keel step in 2 pieces, but we're gonna make it in one. So we're gonna take it and socket it over. So this morning we were talking about how much glass, how much overlay, how much scarfing, how many layers, all that fun stuff to be able to tab this keel step that we're gonna make into the inside of the boat and the outside of the boat on that whole piece right there. So there's a bit of a delay. You kind of have to work with their schedule. They're 6 hours ahead. So when I talk to them at 6 o'clock in the morning, it's already, well, you know, what is that? 6 in the morning is noon their time. So I have to wait until after their lunch hour. So usually we get in around 7, 8 o'clock. I can have a conversation with them. Here we go. Now we know what weight of glass, how many layers, how to scarf it in, and we have yet another factory recommendation on how to fix the boat the way they want us to do it. So that's what we're doing. You ready? Let's lay some glass.
With our completed keel step mold, we were able to do the layup for the starboard side. This was probably the most challenging layup because of the awkward shape, all the thick layers of glass, and we had a much shorter work time window because we are now using medium hardener instead of slow. Although we got it done and were able to put a vacuum on the part, we had to move very quickly to slow the exothermic reaction. To do this, we filled the vacuum bag sealed cavity with cold water and used a pump to pump it out, creating a continuously circulating cool bath. Unfortunately, what we discovered the next day set us back again. trying to get the part out of the mold was much harder than it should have been because we didn't have enough wax on the mold, nor enough PVA. So literally, we broke the mold getting the part out. Now, the time that we should have been laying up the next part for the port side is consumed with fixing the mold. Frustrated at ourselves for such a stupid oversight, we shook it off and we moved forward.
There's one thing. We're getting 2 parts out of these molds and that's it.
Ow! That was a mistake. Not a good choice.
Yeah, we fucked that up. Hey, the keel looks good though.
Since the part did not have a smooth exit from the mold, it took the rest of the day and then some for Ty to prep the outside of the part and for me to get all the bagging materials removed from the inside. So everyone returned to their sanding duties. Thank goodness for that overhead crane. It made flipping and moving the parts around so much easier. This way we could work smarter, not harder. With some final scribing for fit, we can be confident that the part will go in smoothly.
I don't wanna stay here, no. Ain't gonna keep it low now. If you wanna go, let's go. Let's wrap it up and hit the road. I just got an awesome vibe, striking the winner post now. Liberty's on my mind. We've taken off, we've left the ground. You gotta understand that we get one chance, one chance. You will never regret the things that we'll do. 'Cause I wanna drive through the summer night. And when we are old and gray, look back at this summer night.
Why are you cutting up the globe?
So we put the stub keel in so that we have a registration point for where the actual stub keels are going to go on when we assemble everything together. And the reason we had to separate it, if you'd seen it in some previous videos about the mold, is that if we included the stub keel, one, it'd be a pain in the ass to get not only the hole but this big deep keel out of the mold, but two, it gave us less depth in the mold to fix this high-end repair or this high-up repair that's on the outside. So we thought we originally were going to use this and that this new keel stub would just slip over the top of it. That's not the case, and the factory has given us a different application or attachment procedure to attach the keel to the hull. So what I'm doing is I'm cutting it off. We're then going to grind everything flush. We can put that stub keel on top of this hull. and then we'll be able to line it up from the inside and then tab in on the outside of it. We're then gonna take the flat part of this and trim it down and fit that down inside, and that's gonna be our keel sump, or where our bilges will sit, and that will provide the block off layer that will then drill through later and fill that keel, that hollow keel, full of a flotation foam, the closed cell flotation foam. So that's what I'm doing. We're making stuff happen. Cut these off, get that glassed in, flip it back over so we can glass the inside. Today we're finishing the scribing in and fitment of the porthole, and then we are gonna drop that and flip it over, do a last little bit of fairing like we did on the starboard hull here, and hopefully by the end of the day, the port keel will be finished, and then tomorrow morning we'll throw that port keel on and install both hulls.
The layup will be finished.
The layup will be finished, yeah. Lots of dry time, lots of cure time, lots of epoxy, and lots of fiberglass.
And lots of tired people.
We're so tired. This is 27 days straight? Something? A lot. Like almost a month nonstop. So we're gonna take a break once the boat gets out of the shed, and I think we just need at least a day, maybe 2 off, so everyone can regroup. But we can't think about that now. We've got a boat to finish. Finish.
You did it
Finish.
twice.
I did it twice. All right.
Get to cutting. Let's hope your cuts are better than your talking.
Yeah. That is not a guarantee. Shit, there's another hole in the boat.
Will you stop doing that, man?
All right.
Even though we're exhausted, spirits are still good enough that we can dance a little while we grind.
What do you see in there?
Looks like it's pretty well centered down the middle there. And
Do you want to show the camera?
it's pretty well centered here. You can see right down the middle. Now, looking here, looks like we might need to go this way just a little bit. Here.
Cut it. Cut your arm.
Although we broke the mold, we do have a keel step part and some fast hardener. So we cut out the keel sump, test fit the keel step, and began layering the fiberglass to attach the keel step to the starboard part. The only benefit to the fast hardener is that the lamination cured so fast that we were able to flip the part back over and lay up the fiberglass layers on the inside as well. At this point, we're running out of time and it's not looking good, but we keep going. Definitely not making the same mistake twice. We thoroughly waxed and sprayed plenty of PVA on that mold so that we could lay up the port keel step using the same techniques as before in order to prevent the exothermic reaction.
All right, Sid. So what we've done is we've got our final layup and we're out of peel ply. So we're gonna be relying on the release film that we have, which is gonna be a little bit of kind of a pain in the butt to be able to peel it out, but we need very, very little surface area to scarf in the keel on the port hull. So we just want to make sure that we get a release product on before we put the bag in, and then because these layups are really thick, they do generate quite a bit of heat. So what we do is, in addition to pulling a vacuum, we actually put water on the inside, run cold water in it, and pump it out, and that constantly is cooling the inside of the mold while we're pulling a vacuum. So.
We got an early start on that layup, so by the afternoon, it was set and ready.
Okay, take it out. Yeah.
Whoa, don't fall down. Yeehaw! Whoa.
Watch out for that bird.
There we go. Got it? Alright.
Squeak, 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 squeak.
Look at that. Well, that was significantly easier than the last one. To the garbage!
Our time is up. After 8 grueling long days, it's Sunday the 24th, and we've done all we can do. We simply do not have enough resin and hardener left to properly attach the repair parts to the boat. So, now we're here, Monday, October 25th, and we're moving. The yard crew is here, and Plan A, which would have been having the bottoms on, didn't happen, so Plan B goes into effect. The travel lift comes in, and the straps are strategically placed to lift her off the foam belly blocking and set her down on her bulkheads on rubber blocks on the rail car system. As absolutely terrifying as that sounded, it was actually only the sound of the foam as the boat lifted off.
Reboot, I'm cold red, my service automated, like data running through my veins. Got you distracted, subconscious overloaded. Careful, don't pull the cord on me. No time to stay around. Keep walking till you get out of my face. Regrets, restricted access. I'm just a flight to get up in your. We love is charging. I can't waste my time with someone slowing me down, 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 down. So high, I'm floating. I'm shining in my prime. Start rolling over, 'cause you can't take my crown. I'll always be 10 feet off the ground. My crown. I'll always be 10 feet off the ground. Can't take my crown. Can't take my crown.
Here she rests overnight, being keenly watched over by the yard watch cat, who called our boat home for the night. Now you might be asking why we aren't outraged by being evicted. Well, we are in a way, but we're also firm believers in everything happening for a reason. So here's the good part. It's bright and early on Tuesday, October 26th, and she's rolling outside, which means that our daily yard rate drops to $250 a day. So while we wait for our turn in the shed again, and for resin and hardener, we shift gears and work on prepping the engine spaces, continuing to prep the mating surfaces, and a bunch of other little tasks. But first, we have to move all of our stuff and clean up the space for the new boat moving in, and a much-needed day off, and sleep. Hopefully, lots of sleep. Join us next week for the much-anticipated arrival of our shipping container from South Africa.